scab for the bosses, don't listen to their lies. Us poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize. Which side are you on?
Podcast
Which
starting.
side are you
Squid
on?
gamed.
Which side are
Notes
you
up.
on?
Capitalism.
Which side are
Evil.
you on?
That's it.
That's it.
that's the episode right there.
It's
Okay,
the
love you.
whole thing.
Bye.
Bye.
Just kidding. What's good? It's Remarks.
We're here.
Your friendly neighborhood leftist podcast.
I hope everybody had a good Halloween weekend.
I hope they did too, honestly.
Taylor and I had a fucking awesome time.
True. We were together for all of it, pretty much.
Yeah. The entire
Whole
Halloween
thing.
weekend.
Yeah, whole Halloween weekend.
Yeah. Did we get together on Friday? What was Friday?
No. Friday, I believe you were hanging out with other friends of ours before I hung out with Justin, my boyfriend.
That's true. That is true. Moonshine just typed on my computer.
Moonshine, chill out.
Hi, I'm Phoebe, by the way.
I am Tayler.
This is our podcast Remarks.
Yeah.
Woo.
The one where we talk about things. You know what?
Stuff and things.
Cult Month was literally phenomenal.
Yeah, that was so
I'm
great.
so happy that we got to do that and
Yeah, same.
do so much of it.
Okay. Don't be
I think
crazy.
it'll for sure be a yearly tradition.
Yeah, I'm so down for that.
Yeah, me as well.
Yeah,
Me
it
as
was
well.
good. It was very interesting research. It was I just like fun is not the right word, but I was like jazzed about it.
It was good.
Yeah.
But I guess now we have to go back to our normal lame non-cult centric content.
This is not a cult only podcast,
Yeah,
which would be cool, but
unfortunate.
there's so many that are really good, and also I have a
Yeah.
lot more that I want to talk about. Moonshine's going crazy today.
She's really enjoying that little. It's the stopper from the coffee.
Okay, well I can't take it away. She loves it.
She'll knock it off the table and
Yeah,
then be
she'll
like,
get it
"All right, now
eventually.
I don't want it
I'm
anymore."
done now. I am drinking a non-corporate. I suppose this is like their version of a refresher. It's just like a tea thing, green tea thing, but local place called Bjorn's Coffee.
Shout out Bjorn's.
Shout out Bjorn's. It's good. They donate money to like the animals that need help or whatever.
Yeah, I saw that once when I was there. Word.
It's really cute.
Good for them. Good for them. But yeah, so
Okay, fine.
going back to our regularly scheduled programming,
Mhm.
we were going to talk about a little show. It's
Might have heard of it.
Might have heard of it.
Kind of niche. Kind of like you'd have to like watch Rick and Morty to understand it.
Only big brain Rick and Morty fans can kind of understand it, which is why we're here to tell you about
Exactly.
it. 'Cause-
We'll break it down for your little, non-galaxy brain.
Exactly, because we do in fact watch Rick and Morty
Yeah, every day.
and nonstop. It's always on. Yeah,
We're talking about Squid Game, you guys.
we're talking about Squid Game.
Yeah, just I watched it. I was like, holy fuck, the anti-capitalist vibes I'm getting. This is so insane. Told Taylor to watch it immediately, which he did, which Taylor's not like a big show guy.
True.
And so I'm glad that he did that for me. So yeah, we're just gonna fucking get into it and get back to our roots of just like Tangent Town.
Yeah, and it's not gonna be too much of like a story. I tell you a story, you tell me a story episode.
Right.
It's just a little bit of our thoughts on good old Squid Game.
Yeah.
I guess a big spoiler shout out.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So if you've not watched it, don't listen to this episode yet. Or if you don't care, although if you haven't watched it and you don't care about spoilers, you won't know what we're fucking talking about, so whatever. But
True.
yeah, if you want to watch it and you don't want to have every single part of it spoiled for you, go watch it every single episode now, then listen to our episode
True.
as soon as you finish.
Or if you're a crazy person, then you can just listen to this and then
I
watch
guess,
it
yeah.
in that order.
Yeah,
But
if you don't care about anything being spoiled, I guess.
which I think that like there definitely is something to be said for like still appreciating something even when like it's been spoiled
for
you.
sure,
You know?
yeah.
So like, don't think you can't
No.
watch it after you listen to this if you want
Right.
to. But
I mean, you can do whatever you want, I guess.
we are not the boss of you.
No,
Contrary
I
to popular
refuse to be
beliefs.
the boss of anybody, actually.
True. Kind of hate bosses. Kind of want to get rid of them.
Yeah, one way or another,
Yeah.
whatever it takes.
But anyway, want to kick us off with anything?
Sure. I just kind of, how I sort of started like writing out my notes was I mostly was thinking about kind of how each character represents like a different way that people function under capitalism and the different ways that like people take capitalism. Like for instance, I think that the main character Gi-hoon, I think he's like, also let's just precursor really quick. Obviously, neither Taylor or I speak Korean. I am gonna put my best foot forward with these pronunciations. I looked them up and I'm trying my best here. But we're not Korean and not very familiar with Korean names. So anyway, there you go. We're trying our best.
Yeah.
So Gi-hoon, who's the main character, I feel like he kind of represents just like who most of us are. I think, at least on the leftist front. Like, I think he is, you know, in the real world, it's like he wasn't really there for his mom. He kind of had this little bit of a drinking problem, maybe a gambling addiction, although I think that's arguable because I feel like maybe he had a gambling addiction, but I also think it was like, oof, well. and this is an obvious theme in Squid Game, but I think that his gambling, like, is exactly what he was doing in Squid Game, too, which is just, like, doing what he needed to get money, and whether it was like, well, you might lose it all. I mean, that's fucking what we're doing anyway, no matter what. But yeah, I think he, like, in the real world, he definitely had, like, a rough go of it, but when he entered the Squid Games, he was pretty, like, pure of heart. He didn't really, he wasn't like Deok-soo, who was, like, screwing everybody over.
True.
He was just kind of trying to get through it himself. And then, of course, the only time that he really did kind of put anybody else in a worse position was the Marble Game episode. But we'll get to that, of course.
We'll get to that. But yeah, and another interesting thing, too, is, like, even though, again, you could argue that he had, like, a gambling addiction, maybe a drinking problem, these things, like, he wasn't, he didn't have, like, any malintent for anybody else. Like, he wasn't...
Totally.
I don't think that his goal was to, like, go out and hurt anybody else.
Exactly.
Ever.
Yep.
You know, and it explores it more later on in the series, but yeah, he definitely wasn't, you know, trying to hurt other people to get himself ahead, kind of a thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I mean, I think it's also maybe not clear, but I think a part of it too is that he was, like, probably to an extent suffering from depression. I mean, he's separated from his ex-wife. He can't show up for his daughter as much as he wants to. He lives in a small shitty apartment with his mom. He has a really hard time keeping a job. And so, like, of course that's going to drive him to not work as hard to, like, provide for his mom, or he's not going to be able to be there for his mom as much as he wants. And he is probably going to drink because life sucks. Like,
yeah,
you
it's
know,
true. Same.
You know? Yeah.
For sure. One interesting thing that I looked up before kind of jumping into it here, just because I wanted to get a little bit more context to what the situation is like in South Korea. So I did look up that the in South Korea, the top 1% owns about 25% of the nation's wealth, while the bottom half of the population owns only about 2% of the wealth.
Jesus.
So there is somewhat of a middle class there. It actually isn't as bad as America. In America, the bottom 50% actually is more in debt and doesn't control any wealth in the United States, according to the World Inequality Database. Yeah, and so, you know, these, I guess it's, I just thought it was interesting because we have had a lot of South Korean media that's come over and been critical of capitalism, and it's connected really well here in America because we're in a worse place than they are even.
Yeah. Like, which I know it's going to come up. I'm for sure going to talk about Parasite this episode, which was another anti-capitalist piece of South Korean media that was, like, extremely relatable.
Yeah. Insane. Yeah. But yeah, so, you know, definitely, it's an issue that we relate with, and obviously they are facing in South Korea as well, being that they are also a capitalist nation.
And I think any country living under capitalism can relate to this kind of a thing. I guess sort of diving a little bit into another one of my character analyses, which this character I just was like, so Sang-woo, who's, he is like the guy who supposedly went to business school, and he's like this big investor and blah, blah, blah. And he's like in the business world and everything. But then when like Gi-hoon connects with him again, he realizes that this guy's completely like deeply in debt. He was like suicidal, you know, all of this stuff. And I just felt like, I mean, I think he is pretty like what a lot of people are under capitalism, which is like I thought he had such an interesting parallel of who he was in the world outside of capitalism, or in the world outside of Squid Game and the world inside of Squid Game. It's like he was the same person, because in his business life, he was like this investor who he was kind of a con artist. He would screw people over for their money and then ended up owing a lot of people money, and like he was
in a situation.
Yeah, he was like this cutthroat like business guy who would intentionally screw people over, and then he does the same thing over and over again in Squid Game. It's like he never learned a lesson of how he ended up where he was in the real world, and then goes and does the exact same thing during Squid Game.
And, you know, something that's interesting, I know we're jumping ahead a little bit, but like even to like the very end, like he wouldn't allow the money to be given back to the families of the people who died in Squid Game.
Right.
He had to have somebody win it. Like he just so he like gave it to Ji-hoon. Yeah. And I just think that that's really telling. Like, I don't know, like they could have both gotten up out of there and walked away, right?
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't have been an issue, but he just like couldn't let that happen, which
literally
is
to his death, like which I think is so indicative of people we see all the time, especially in this business world, you know, Wall Street type people. Obviously not the top Wall Street people, but the people who are kind of scraping in Wall Street, like to the very end of shit, like they will be still believing in capitalism or believing that there needs to be some kind of like hierarchy type of thing. Which I think he represents like the people who are in the working class who have become so entrenched in capitalism that you're convinced that like the only way to win capitalism, I guess, is by crushing this enemy around you. Yeah. And in the end, the enemy, he crushed himself. Yeah. Like he still was like, there is something to be won here, and there is somebody that has to come out on top no matter what.
Yeah, no, and I think it's very much, you could make a comparison to like modern day, like just regular conservative people, you know, like how they, you know, they see that there's something wrong. They support like, oh, we want, you know, working class people to benefit and have jobs, but they still defend this system that is built to fuck over working class people, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so it's that kind of thing. But yeah, no, he's definitely, I call him a class traitor, but
no, that's completely what he is. Yeah, and again, even when it's so like blatant to him, right in front of him, like game 1 of Squid Game, it's like, oh, okay, so they're killing everyone around me.
Yeah.
Still, knowingly, he like deceives people and gets them killed, like because he believes that he can get ahead.
Exactly. And, you know, and I think that another thing too that you could maybe look into with his character is a lot of like, he was more in debt than Ji-hoon, and was like, he had gone to college and was a businessman,
right?
And I think that there is a certain level of like elitism that comes with that, like, oh well, I have this college education and I was doing these things, so I deserve this money more than somebody who was gambling their life away or. You know,
which he was doing, like he was gambling
was
too,
also doing it
just
too,
in a different way.
Yeah.
Well, and it's true, and you can even see that in the way that people talk about, like the way that the moms were talking about Sang-woo over Gi-hoon. It's like,
exactly.
Gi-hoon comes home after the slap game and his mom's like, did you get in a fight again? But then Song-woo, it's like, oh, he's this business guy. Da, 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 da.
He's in America now. Yeah.
Yeah. And even Gi-hoon feels that way about him. Like,
it's true. And, and then especially if you throw in the, Ali, who I'm sure we'll get to, which Abdul Ali, I think was his full name. But yeah, like, especially the way that people feel they have entitlement over immigrants, like that's huge.
Oh,
like,
yes.
So that's another thing that you could kind of pull from that as well.
Right. Yeah, and I think that also like Song-woo compared to Deok-soo, who was like the big tough gangster guy who kind of ended up leading like that group of kind of more savage people in Squid Game. He also sort of represents somebody who like deeply believes in capitalism, but it's like in this different way. It's funny because it's like he sort of, I think, has this ideal of like the pull yourself up by your bootstraps person, but in like the sort of underbelly way and in this way of like breaking the law. But even still, even him going against the law, he still has this like loyalty to capitalism.
Yeah, to the game, right? Yeah. And like, I don't know, I mean, it makes sense, we always talk about how there's the mafia, quote unquote, like, organized crime like that. But then there's also just like, people on Wall Street, like, what do they call it? White collar crime. Like, it's the same thing. It's just
exactly
done with different, different means,
Right.
But they're doing the same thing.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, Sang-woo and what was the other?
Song-woo and Deok-soo are the same person.
They're doing the same thing, just in different, you could say different classes in a way.
Exactly. No, exactly. Like, Song-woo can just do crime with like embossed gold, whatever.
Exactly.
And Deok-soo is doing it like out on the streets. But it's like, and I think that Song-woo represented it in this way that was kind of more secretive, where Deok-soo was very like outward, like he was outwardly very aggressive. He outwardly had this group of people that he was going after people with. I mean, you see it in the episode where at night they all start fighting each other, and immediately he's like just starts fucking killing people. Yeah. But it's like Song-woo is doing that same thing, the way he screws over Ali, the way that he like at the end of it he fucking pushes the dude off the bridge. Like, he's doing the same thing, but it's just more covert, exactly like how people in the business world, or if you're removing it from like working class people and you put Sung-woo as like the elite itself, like they are doing it in just a more covert, sneaky way, or a more accepted
PR
and ingrained
way.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas like the sort of gangsters of the world who are also killing people, who are also like stealing money, it's just more it's less accepted, and it's more like visual, like you can see it more clearly, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it like, and again, that's what we've talked about before, like capitalism breeds crime on all levels, and
capitalism itself is a crime.
True. And I think one thing that's different is like, a lot of the crime, that white collar crime that happens in America and other capitalist countries is done for people who just want to get more money and more power. Whereas like in this case, Sung-woo needed money to pay off of his debts and whatnot. But
he got there from this sort of greed thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which I sorry, and I'm kind of interrupting you, but like, I think that even that, he's not entirely at fault for what he did in the business world either, because you are brainwashed into believing that this is what you're supposed to do. Like, to an extent, I have a bit of sympathy for people like this, and not completely, because they do add a lot to us all suffering, but I do have a piece of sympathy because you are just doing what you think should be right.
Yeah, no, I I absolutely get you, because it's like, it's and a lot of us too, on the left, it's it is fuck billionaires. We hate billionaires, right?
Yeah.
We hate rich people because a lot of times they're assholes, and it makes sense. But I think that another thing that a lot of people don't like look at is that under the system of capitalism, like you your one function as like a business is to maximize profit
Exactly.
and minimize cost, and that's
Right.
that's just how it functions. So it's like a business doing what it's supposed to do under capitalism isn't necessarily like we should definitely still hold people accountable. And I'm not saying that, but
Sure, yeah.
there is a certain level of like they're just operating the way that they were told to.
No, exactly. Operating the way that they have to.
Yeah.
To a point, you know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
not really, but like in order to be successful in a capitalist society, like you have to exploit people. You won't be successful if you're not exploiting people in the system we live in.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, all bosses, even your small business, your local
Yeah.
business bosses.
No, it's
There's
true.
certain exploitation that
true.
happens.
Well, and I think that's like getting into like Sabyok a little bit. Like, I think to me, she sort of represented like a little bit more of that like ideal kind of leftist, where she's sort of like a do no harm but take no shit kind of person.
Yeah.
But she's still, it's like, she pickpockets Gi-hun in the beginning of the thing, but it's like even she like could not avoid doing a little bit of harm to other people, in a way that just meant she was trying to survive. And it's not like she went up and stabbed Gi-hun to get his money, but she just took it and ran off. But yeah, it's like, even if you have good intentions, even if you, like in Squid Game, she was pretty helpful to like other players, like the other girl whose name I don't remember.
Yeah, the one girl, she was in like 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And then
R.I.P.
in the Marbles episode, she ended up dying.
Oh, so sad.
It was very
God.
sad.
Yeah.
This show will ruin you.
Yeah.
For sure.
It absolutely. I
Yeah.
like genuinely was like sobbing, like fully fucking sobbing. But yeah, like I think she represents like what we all more want to be, where she fends for herself. She's trying to provide for her brother and her mother at home. She protects herself when needed. She helps the other players when needed. She helps Gi-hun during the bridge game. She helps that other girl, whatever. But she also, like, she's caught up in the game of capitalism as well, and she just has to do what she has to do to survive. There's no getting around it.
And she doesn't, and it's that idea of like not trusting anybody. And it's it's unfortunate because, like, in this game, right, if you stick together, it's better in some scenarios, but then at the end, obviously they only let one person win,
Right.
but yeah, like, it's I'd say that that's the one thing is that makes her not like an ideal leftist, because she is kind of just doing what she needs to do to survive, but she isn't she doesn't trust anybody. She doesn't have like a community or anything to help her.
True.
But again, capitalism makes it so you literally cannot do that.
Exactly. Well, and she's been shown time and time again in her life that like you shouldn't trust anybody, which like can sort of be true, at least.
Yeah.
Under capitalism. But yeah, that is a good point. And I think sort of she kind of starts to learn that a little bit as she goes along. Like, obviously she joins Gi-hun's team, and like during the Marble episode, she does like become vulnerable with that girl, and she tells her like her story.
True. And that girl, the one that she partners with, her story was heartbreaking.
Oh my God.
And very, because I wish I knew her name, but
I'll figure it out.
I was gonna say if you can look it up. But she has this story where she was in prison because she murdered her stepdad, I think it was,
yes.
or her dad, for abusing her mom or killing her mom, and then she went to prison and then got out of prison and just went into the Squid Game because she had nowhere else to go, which is again kind of a huge symbol of how we treat people that get out of the prison system or have a record. It's like,
right.
A lot of times they do have to turn to things harming other people to survive.
Right.
It's unfortunate, but it's how it is.
Yup. Her name is Ji-young.
Ji-young. Got it. But yeah, so definitely kind of fucked up.
Yeah. Also, the first thing when you Google Ji-young, at least in the videos, is on YouTube. It's Ji Young and Sae-byuk scene that makes everyone cry. Which it did.
It did absolutely make me cry. I shipped
Yeah.
them hard.
Oh my god, I wanted gay content from them so
I know.
bad. I thought it was going to happen. I mean, I know there was really no, like, time and it wasn't really the place, I guess, but I was hoping they would give a little smooch or
No
something.
emotional death game lesbian love scenes.
Darn.
Shit.
Should we get into kind of, like, analyzing the games, I guess?
Sure. Yeah, I would love to. Honestly, let's take a quick break, skis.
Word.
You know what won't force you into a death game to compete for blood money?
Capitalism?
Oh,
As
damn.
capitalism has never functioned
Yeah.
like that.
No, definitely. I'm pretty sure capitalism doesn't make you compete for anything ever. Yeah.
No.
Like, you just get stuff under capitalism.
They just
For free,
provide for
yeah.
everyone and make sure everyone has a good life.
Which is why they're actually, I'm just getting this news now.
Oh?
America has no poverty.
Whoa.
Yeah, no,
Amazing.
that's how it is.
That's how functional and streamlined and like well made the capitalist system is.
It's true. It's absolutely
we're for
true.
sure not like one of the most poverty stricken countries.
Yeah, with like the most insane fucking like healthcare and never.
Especially for like a, industrial developed country or however you want to call it.
Exactly.
Anyway, ads. Taylor, I would tell you a joke about communism, but it's only funny if everyone gets it.
That's good. I heard this one joke once that was like, I don't remember how. Oh, it's supposed to be like a communist burn. It's like you're more classless than like a Karl Marxist utopia or something like that. Which I thought was kind of funny.
That is really funny. And I'm like, thank you.
Actually, thank you. Yeah, that's really nice of you to say. Anyway, but yeah, moving into game number 1.
Fun.
Red light, green light.
Yeah.
Did you ever play red light, green light?
Yeah, I did.
Like a fuck ton, right?
For sure.
Very fun game.
Yes.
Wasn't fun when they played it.
Yeah. Not so fun this time.
Yeah, dying. Turns out dying not people's favorite thing.
Yeah, not the best time ever.
For sure. But yeah, so I mean, I was gonna bring up as far as like the games, especially jumping into it goes. They sign a waiver, that I guess means they agree to the game.
Yeah, which, like, they don't know what they're agreeing to.
Exactly. Like, they're told the rules of the, the overall games and of the first game, but they don't know the consequences until people start getting shot. Like, and I think that that's very telling, we're all told under capitalism, like, you have to work, you have to do this and this, but like, nobody's told like, yeah, if you don't have enough money, you just can't get healthcare.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. You might not be able to eat.
Exactly. And I think, so that part was very telling.
Well, and even with like the contract that they're signing, a lot of them just signed it because they were getting like beat up or whatever, and they didn't even know like what it was when they were signing the contract, like before they even got there,
Yeah, no, exactly. And I don't know. It's interesting too because like they're all there, they don't know how they got there. It's one of those things where I feel like I guess they just didn't have enough knowledge of what was happening to be able to consent to what was going on the first time. There was a lot of people that died in that game without knowing what it was, at least I guess you can say in, the second time they come back, at least they know what they're getting into, but
for sure.
It's, it's that kind of vibe or that idea that like, if you you signed a contract, but again, like you weren't able to consent to what was actually going to happen to you. It was so vague. So I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, obviously, red light, green light, this is the first game they play. This is where they figure out, like, oh, fuck, if we lose, you're killing us.
Exactly. And I think, that's when we were first introduced to Ali, our boy.
Our baby boy Ali.
Yeah. And he actually saves
Gi-hun. Yeah.
From getting killed.
Yeah.
Which was cool of him.
Yeah. And that's also where you see a little more of Sae-byeok and like the way that she sort of navigates, which is where I can't remember I think she's hiding behind Deoksu, yeah. And like she realizes that if you're behind another player, the camera can't like see you, and so she just kind of follows him around.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, even though he was like beating the shit out of her like before they started, she didn't push him or anything. Like she didn't, because you could have easily just like she could have easily just pushed him and like, and again maybe that would have blown her cover. I don't know what it was, but obviously she didn't feel like she had to retaliate against him, even though he definitely felt the need to retaliate against other people. So. Right.
Well, and even like he was like against her even before Squid Game. Like he had beef with her pre-Squid Game.
Exactly. Yeah. So pretty interesting. Another thing in that episode is after they're done with the first game, one of the rules that they can do is to, if the majority of them vote to opt out of the games, they'll stop it and they'll give the money to the people who, to the families of the people who died in the game. And they actually do. They actually do opt out of it, opt out of that game, and it's canceled, and they're all returned back to where they're going. So that's cool, but a bunch of them obviously come back.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, one line that I was like got chills was when they come back, it's like, well, I mean, how different is it? Like, it's worse out there than it is in here. That's what they said. I can't remember what character, but they said it's worse out there than it is in here because, well, and that's almost true, but it's like, it's kind of almost the exact same. Like, you are just going in there on this false promise that like you have this chance to win this amount of money, which is the exact same as like in capitalism in the real world. And another thing, I guess, like this is something that definitely like mirrors our real world too, but so the organizers said like, oh well, everybody in here has like an equal chance at winning, which, is of course something capitalism says, oh, if you work hard, you'll be successful, da-da-da-da-da. But it's a lie, and it's always been a lie. And even in Squid Game, even like as they're playing the actual game, that's a lie. Even before, they do certain things that did actually give players advantages, like just the players showing up there, there's already like disadvantages between them. Like for instance, Il-nam, which I mean that whole thing at the end kind of whatever, but like Il-nam is like clearly this like old fucking guy. He can't run as fast. He has like dementia a little bit. The like there's already discrepancies between the players that give people unequal advantages.
Yeah, exactly. And like, and I think that's a big thing is they say that it's equal, but like it's that like that kind of thing that like if I don't know, I what do they say, like equality and equity, like it's different, like being provided for, for the things that you need, like everybody getting the things that they need is equity, whereas like throwing everybody into a pit and say fight to the death and you'll get money, like it's quote unquote equal, but like again, there's so many factors you're not considering. Right,
exactly. Like, I found it very, like, kind of ironic that the organizer, so there was, like, that whole part where part of Gi-hun's, like, or not Gi-hun, part of Deoksu's gang, the doctor guy, was, like, helping the Squid dudes, like, do this whole thing, and then they would give him, like, a hint as to what the next game was going to be.
Exactly.
And so then they ended up killing the person who was giving that doctor the hints, and the front man was like, this game it's about equality, you're ruining the most important part of the game, which is equality. And it's like, well, okay, first of all, no.
Yeah.
Second of all, like, even before anybody started playing any games, there wasn't equality. Like, equality would be like giving Il-nam a little extra sec or whatever because he's older, or it would be like giving the two younger girls, like, a strength advantage or something, like helping them with a strength advantage.
Yeah, pairing them with a team that is strong, stronger or whatever it is, yeah.
So it's like, okay, dude, like you're, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's definitely, it's interesting. But I guess that leads us into the game 2.
Yes. Which
that one was the honeycomb
game. Yeah.
Yeah, honeycomb game, which, Sang-woo, that's when he kind of reveals that he's like a class traitor.
Exactly.
Because he remembers the game but tells...
He says Gi-hun, he's like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And just kind of tells the other team to go get whatever shapes that they can.
Oh, yeah, he says, we should all, like, do different ones or something.
Even though he knows that triangle's going to be the easiest to get out of there.
Yeah, oh my god, I did actually even forget about that. It's like he didn't even just go get his triangle and was like, oh, I'll do whatever. He was like, let's all do different shapes. You fucking asshole.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when you kind of start to see, too, that some of the players are starting to cheat, you know? Like, the one lady... Minyo. She's using the lighter to do hers.
Yep.
That's when she kind of starts to team up with
Deok-soo,
Deok-soo. So, yeah, you kind of start to see that some of the players are, trying to cheat to get an advantage over the other ones and fuck other people over and things like that.
Yeah. Which Tayler texted me watching the Dalgona episode and was like, some people get harder shapes? What the fuck? Like,
exactly. And that's the thing is, like, again, it's not it's not equal. Like, I guess it's equal in the sense that you all get the same choice, but like, getting an umbrella out of a honeycomb without breaking it is a lot harder than a triangle.
Exactly.
And obviously that is kind of like how some people just happen to have more privilege than other people, right? It's
exactly
a lot easier to become wealthy if your parents are stable and wealthy and have a house and you have a good education and things like that.
Yep. Well, and that was too, like, when you texted me that, I was thinking about, and I think I texted you back something like, it's like they make you believe that, like, you chose that, so it's your fault or whatever that you have a harder time with the umbrella, because it's that, like, illusion of, like, you got yourself into this situation.
Exactly, but, like, you didn't know what the game was, right?
Yeah,
like,
right. Like, I don't know, it maybe goes into not quite so much a parallel with this, but kind of still people having this, like, sort of like allegiance to billionaires where it's like, well, they did all this hard work and blah blah blah, and it's like, no, they just got a triangle instead of a fucking umbrella, and the rest of us are out here with fucking umbrellas.
Exactly. And whether it's because, and again, like, whether it's because they just happened to choose the triangle or they remembered it from their childhood, whether they just were born into a wealthy family or they just got lucky with, like, a business venture, like whatever it is that these billionaires have done to get rich, like, it's not like, again, rags to riches doesn't exist. Like, nobody works their way up to being wealthy. It's always a combination of luck and, more often than not, privilege.
And exploitation.
Exactly. So
yeah, and it's like, with that too, it's not like one person deserves a triangle over an umbrella or one person deserves to get an umbrella. Like, all of us, well, first of all, we shouldn't even have to be fucking playing the Dalgona game in the beginning, but, like, all of us deserve a triangle no matter what. Like, which I also really liked that with Squid Game, like, where Gi-hun being, like, the protagonist of it, he wasn't, like, an amazing guy. He was kind of like a lowlife. Yeah. But he still was this lovable character that you wanted to win, which and same thing with, like, Se-byuk. She stole from Gi-hun. Like, a lot of these characters, or I would say pretty much all of them, come from, except Ali, who's perfect, come from like these different backgrounds of, like, just what you become and who you are under capitalism, which is you are going to harm people, and there's no avoiding that. There's literally no fucking way to avoid that. And also, even if you never quote unquote tried or whatever in your life and sat around and whatever. It doesn't matter. You still, every single person on this fucking planet deserves access to like survival and the things they need in order to survive.
Yeah, for sure. Like it doesn't, you know, it kind of reminds me of that like phrase where it's like, even people who are criminals and like did break the law don't deserve to be shot by police, kind of a thing. It's the same thing. Like even people who don't work hard or, you know, are criminals deserve basic human rights.
Yes.
Like, you know, and again, we've already talked about the prison system and, you know, that definitely needs to be reformed, but not to say that, you know, there shouldn't be something that we do for, you know, criminals, but like, again, people deserve access to basic human rights no matter what.
Exactly.
So yeah, I liked that part about it as well. The fact that like, you know, you know that like, oh, like Ji-hoon, he does, you know, go gambling, and he did take that money from his mom's card, and you know, didn't get his daughter a good birthday present. It was a gun that is a lighter, which that part was funny.
Yeah, which it like the box that was in was like the exact same as the coffins from the Squid Game. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's like all these little Easter egg kind of things in there.
Interesting. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. But it's like at the end of the day, he's still someone that you want to survive.
Yeah, exactly. And again, and that's the thing is like they definitely make other players not as likable. But again, it kind of, you have to kind of think about like, why does one person deserve something but the other ones don't, you know?
Right, exactly. So well, even like Minyo, she did intentionally screw other people over, like repeatedly. But honestly, and like, I don't know, I was reading some like think pieces back and forth about like whether people should stan her or not or whatever the fuck. And I'm like, I mean, I don't really care, because I think, again, she was just kind of doing the thing that she had to do to survive herself, which is the position that a lot of us are in, and we are going to end up screwing people over, and maybe we will intentionally screw people over. But she reminded me a lot of the characters in Parasite, where the whole time I was watching Parasite, I really was like, I want them to be good people. And then I was upset when like they screwed over the workers who were already working at the house in order to get their jobs. And I was like kind of mad at them for a minute, because I'm like, well, you just did the thing. You put them in your position now. Exactly. Now they're out of a job and they're going to be living in this shitty place. But I was like, but I mean, that's what we are literally made to do. That's what we're forced to do in this system, is fight against each other. And take one job from another person, we have to intentionally screw other people over just in order to survive ourselves. Like,
yeah, and I think that's where it gets to the idea of like, okay, yeah, like she might have fucked over a bunch of people, but like, why does this game exist in the first place? You know, like why is this happening?
Yeah, right.
And you know, that's, I think, the whole point of the show is to be like, oh, why do we let this happen?
Exactly. Yeah, which it's like where, you know, at the end, like Gi-hoon goes back to, or supposedly is going to go back to try and like destroy these games, because it's like, we can't just let this happen. But then it's like, there's that dude sitting on the corner, like begging for money and almost going to freeze to death. And it's like, well, we can't just let that happen. Like, even if he does stop the Squid Games from happening, like the exact same thing is going to be happening.
Exactly.
In outside of that as well. Like massive amounts of people are going to die in the same kind of way, really.
Yeah. And that scene I felt was very wholesome, because, you know, I think when you have Il-nam at the very end, when he's dying in the hospital bed, and he's like, do you still trust people, you know, because you've seen the depravity of people or whatever, and then the person does come and help that like guy that's down there dying in the cold or whatever. I really like that part, because I think that like it does show that, like, you know, underneath it all, like we do care about each other, like people do care for each other.
Exactly.
again, when you're put into this system that is like, well, it's your life or somebody else's,
Right.
you know, again, what are you going to do? You're going to fuck other people over.
Yeah, in order to survive.
Yeah, and again, I think you have to think about, why does this system exist?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, which that really, I know we are for sure skipping ahead, but I don't know, we're here now. So
Who
the
cares?
ending really fucking, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
The ending really bothered me because, I mean, for like several reasons, but especially that part where Il-nam was like, see, like, why do you still believe in the good of humanity or whatever? And it's like, Il-nam, were you not fucking there the whole time? Like, which I guess that is how, anyway, let me finish my thoughts because I'm all getting all crazy.
Yeah.
So, because I was like, Il-nam, like, you were there the entire time with Gi-hun, who repeatedly put himself in danger to help you survive. Like, he repeatedly put Il-nam's life before his own. And I'm like, how are you not believing in the good of humanity? Where in a situation where it was obvious, Gi-hun was staring in the face of, I'm going to get fucking shot if I die, purposefully put himself in harm's way in order to help Il-nam.
True.
So that really pissed me off when he said that. But then I'm like, well, and maybe that's just the way that like the elite see things, is that like, well, there is this depravity of humanity, even when they see the pure goodness of humanity, they can't see it because they're so blinded by like all this other shit.
Well, and another thing that frustrates me is for all the, you know, they talk about the games being equal, right? They're like, everything's equal, it's all fair. But Il-nam didn't actually get killed in the games. And I'm like, well, why? Because you have money? Because you started the games?
Right.
That's cheating, you know, like that's not fair.
Yeah.
So, I mean, their whole claim about the games being equal just goes out the window.
Exactly.
Like,
I know.
It's probably on purpose, but like, again, I was you like Il-nam until the end, and then you're like, fuck you, dude. Like,
I know.
Fuck this old guy. I hope you fuck.
I'm like, I literally sobbed over this man's death.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, which, and I don't know, and I think that is, I mean, I guess that's just, I think they did that on purpose. It wasn't my favorite way that this could have ended, but I think they definitely did it on purpose to be like, this is exactly, like, this is what we're fucking going through. And I felt like Il-nam was a great representation of, like, how people do become very, like, overly loyal to billionaires. Or, like, I loved this sort of thought where it's like, you know, companies will be like, oh, we're a family, blah, 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 where he says to Gi-hun, he literally says to Gi-hun during the marble game where he knows he's going to be fine no matter what, that they're like, I can't remember what the Korean word was, but he's like, we're best friends. Like, best friends do this and this and this. And that's exactly what, like, these companies and corporations will do to you, convincing you that, like, you owe them, like, a certain loyalty.
Exactly.
For no fucking reason.
Yeah.
And it's like you fall in love with the character of Il-nam to just reveal, like, he's basically your boss. You know?
Yeah.
And Gi-hun is, like, the dude who works late hours and does all this stuff to, like, support his boss in this company, who in the end, your company doesn't fucking care about you at all. Like, and I told this to, it doesn't matter, I'll say. I told this to my mom when she was working for this company and was like, oh, I feel like I can't quit my job because if I do, like, there's nobody who can take over my job. And I was like, that's not your fault.
Yeah.
Like, these people owe you owe these people fucking nothing. And, like, they have not shown you the loyalty to you.
Exactly.
Like, I think that is something that is so fucking warped. And I know I'm tangenting, but that's the whole point of the episode, I suppose.
I love
Something that I feel no, I love it. Something that I feel like is so fucking warped is that we have this undying, or we feel a need to have this undying loyalty to these companies that we work for, when really it's the companies who should be having the loyalty to us, because we are the ones that are fucking making them the money. Like,
yeah.
And I know I'm still going off, but it's just like the whole fucking idea when people say, oh, like, Jeff Bezos made all his money. Jeff Bezos worked hard for this money. No, he didn't. Jeff Bezos does not make the money. The people that make the money for Amazon are the people that work for Amazon. It is all the Amazon workers. It is none of the CEOs and none of the Jeff Bezoses. Like, if every single Amazon worker quit tomorrow, Jeff Bezos would stop making money.
True. No, you're absolutely correct. And that's why you people need to unionize.
Please.
Please. Well, no, and I feel that even with my own job, like people have this weird blind, I don't know, blind loyalty to this company that is at the end of the day just a corporation. Like, and it's a call center job. They pay decently well, but like you could still pay more, and
Right.
it's still not great. And it's like, why? But again, I feel like they've been programmed to think that like, well, I can't agitate for better conditions because I'm lucky as it is. And it's like, just because it's, even if it's slightly better than other jobs, it's like, that doesn't mean that you can't organize for not only yourself, but the people working the other jobs too.
Right, exactly. Because like, even though you're making whatever $15 an hour over $7.50, you're still getting screwed over, baby. Like,
oh yeah,
it doesn't matter. Well, and I think also like that's something that you see so much with these sort of I don't know, trendy
companies.
Yes. Like Netflix will have like a slide and fucking free coffee for you or whatever in order to convince you that like that they're giving you more than somebody else would, because
Exactly.
just because you get an hour break and they have Smash Brothers you can play, like
Exactly.
don't try and unionize.
They have a ping pong table. Yeah.
Like
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. They'll send me a screaming goat, but I can't get a raise, right? Like
exactly.
Which we should
exactly. Yeah, where is the goat?
Give a little scream for us.
Relatable. That's how I feel right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, they send you the screaming goat that is like encompassing of your emotions. And they're like, isn't this silly?
Isn't this fun? No, for sure. It's a thing. But anyway, break.
Yeah.
Break to breathe, to calm down.
Woo.
Woo indeed. Anyway. And we are back.
We are here.
We are present. Talking about Squid Game. Talking more about Squid Game.
Yep.
Moving on to game 3, which was Tug of War, which is a good old childhood classic.
Yeah.
Tugging war.
Tugging a little rope back and forth, and then if you lose, then you have to plummet 30 feet onto the ground and your brains explode everywhere.
Yeah,
Isn't that
that's
how it went when you were a kid?
pretty common, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. This is where I feel like they introduce not only, alliances and things like that. They kind of have the quote unquote street crime, or like, violence is now encouraged between players, like off of the games and whatnot.
Right.
And I believe, if I'm correct, this is when, well, it was kind of the last game too, is when they hint at it, but this is when you start to see more of, like the black market organ trade that the doctor's involved in.
Yeah. Yeah, which it is actually interesting too, because even the people running the Squid Game, not the higher ups, but like the little shape face guys.
Yeah, PS2 face guys.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, even they are not being provided for and taken care of. Like, even they are having to do black market organ trading in order to, like, get ahead and get money in order to live.
It's true. Yeah, no, it's interesting. And it doesn't really ever, and this would why I feel like a season 2 would be sick, but it doesn't really get too much into, like, that whole side of it, because you see, like, the cop guy who obviously, like, infiltrates it and, lives in that a little bit, and you can see how they're very controlled. Everything they do is, like, it's almost like a dictatorship in a way, you know?
Right, or, like, militaristic.
Yeah, which, is kind of what companies do, and obviously capitalist governments do.
Right. Or maybe it was even a nod to the military, where it's like these people are out there, like, organizing to oppress other people's lives and organizing to, they are the ones that will shoot you or whatever.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the people in our military are suffering as well, or they're there kind of in a way that forced them. Like that was their escape from capitalism as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you know, they definitely prey on low income areas to get people to join the military for free college. So
Exactly.
But yeah, no, that game obviously was interesting. I also noted that like the religious guy pops up for the first time in that game.
Yes.
And you know, he's praying and thinks, you know, it's this like weird sense that like he's praying that he doesn't die, but then will kill other people.
Yeah.
Because for some reason he's like, God wants me to have this money or whatever. And,
right.
you know, that definitely is how, I mean, it's definitely how religious people in America feel. Like God wants capitalism. God wants me to be wealthy.
Yeah.
Very, I mean, just look at like any prosperity gospel kind of stuff.
Exactly.
That's how it is.
I thought I loved his character for that, because I thought it's like, you know, he's literally on the bridge, like wasting time praying.
Exactly.
When it's like, dude, open your eyes and look around you. Like, where is your fucking God? How would you be in the situation that you are now if a God really did care about you and wanted to provide for you? Which it's like, I mean, he's the whole thing of just how people latch on to a religion where it's like, well, then why did like Hurricane Katrina happen? You know, like how? Anyway, we don't need to get into why I'm an atheist on this episode, but
I think it is something that we see a lot with religious organizations, and how, you know, when you are preparing, quote unquote, or looking forward to an afterlife, you will neglect the suffering that's happening, you know, around you, right?
Exactly.
Like, and I think that's, you know, is very much emblematic of that. Like,
exactly. Yes.
So, yeah.
And I felt like, at least for me, he kind of conjured up this idea of like, that like almost that like inspiration porn that you'll see all the time, where like, you know, it's like this little kid opened up a lemonade stand to pay for his mom's cancer bills or whatever, and everyone's like, oh, that's so amazing. And it's like, no, it isn't. Like,
it really isn't.
It's cute that the kid wanted to help his mom, I guess, but it's fucked up that like he
has to.
That a child has to open a lemonade stand to help pay for his mom's cancer bills. Like, like, and people just, it's like you're so close to seeing the point, but so far away.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's, it's that like inspiration porn stuff is very strategically released, I feel.
Yes. Psyop type.
A very
beat.
psyop thing, yeah. But yeah, any other thoughts on Tug of War?
Nothing that I could think of right now.
Well, I mean, we can come back if we have to, but that moves to game 4, which was marbles.
Oh, or should we talk about the like, the like nighttime wars a little bit more?
Yeah, let's jump into that.
Because that kind of is when that started happening, right? Was
Correct.
after Tug of War or before?
I think it was like right before Tug of War.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's the same episode though.
Yes, I think that's right.
Yeah. But yeah, so you know, it's obviously, I feel like that's very symbolic of like illegal street crime, things like that.
Which it was clear how like Deoksu obviously excelled in that type of thing, and also was pretty much like on board right away.
Yeah, and they kind of knew that, you know, that all of, you know, the rules were just whatever at that point. Like,
right,
that he wasn't punished for killing that one guy, and then all hell broke loose. And they wanted, you know, again, like the people at the top who were running the game wanted you to like make these alliances.
Which really becomes apparent when they have like the billionaire people come and watch.
Exactly, yeah. Like it's, you know, it's just a game. Again, it's a game to them as it is, but just watching people struggle and suffer.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I think that was a big part. You know, that kind of establishes the alliances that are happening, which then kind of translates to the Tug of War game, where you have to which again, nobody's told except the doctor dude who's cheating what the game is. So you're just pairing up with anybody, and if you get a team that isn't as strong, then
Yep.
I guess fuck you, you're out of luck.
Yeah, which it was interesting that like Songwoo, even he sort of stopped being an asshole for a second and was like, gave them this little, he was like, oh, I know how to do this thing to win tug of war better or whatever. But then it's like right after that turns right around and fucks people over again.
But even then, I feel like, he was also in that same boat of being like, oh, only get strong men to be on the team, right?
That's true.
And then when the names, and then when Sebok,
oh yeah, Sebok,
brings back the other girl, he's like, I thought I said you should get men or whatever, because we already have a girl and an old guy. Which again is very sexist and ageist, as capitalism is.
Right. Well, and maybe even I guess Songwoo wasn't even looking out for them. He was looking out for himself, because in that case, if they died, he dies.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and again, like you can potentially be under capitalism. You can like kind of have friends and things like that, but again, with moving into the next game, it will take all of those alliances you've made and then just rip them out from under you to save yourself, right?
Exactly.
Like, and it's tricky because again, it's a fictional story. It's not like a 1-to-1 comparison, obviously. Nobody's forcing you to play marbles to the death or whatever, but it definitely is. It definitely is very symbolic of how it's just like, I feel like we hear about it all the time in capitalism, where like somebody wants to make more money and will, even people that are close to them, even family members, will fuck them over to get more money or more power or whatever it is, save themselves. And that's when our boy Ali dies, gets fucked over by Songwoo.
Yeah, and we were kind of saying this off air about the like, I don't even know, the like nighttime everybody fights each other thing, but it's the thing of like, you're watching these people kill each other even outside of the organized games, and Tayler was kind of saying it's like, if they all got together, they could maybe sort of overthrow like the Squid guards, and it's this idea of how through like this system of capitalism, it makes you stop focusing on who the real enemy is, even amongst like those of us that are teamed up together, even amongst like the leftists or whatever. Like, we are so incapable, because we're so entrenched in surviving under capitalism, we're so incapable of turning our vision towards who is keeping you here, who is making you play these games. That's who you need to be nighttime killing. Like,
exactly, yeah. And no, you're absolutely right. It's turning on each other. But that's what the system wants you to do.
Which I guess is the whole thing of the games, like how you are they're all made to compete against each other and literally say, okay, well, the more people that die, the better a chance you have, which is exactly how we're living.
Exactly. And and I think one interesting thing that you could kind of pull from that is like, it was Il-nam and Sung-woo who helped them win the tug of war.
Yeah.
It was, the marbles was kind of a different thing, but, there was like, I think about like that guy on the glass hopping one that could like tell the glass apart, right? That like people have different skills,
right?
And if they were to have all teamed up,
exactly,
more of them could have survived.
Yes.
And again, I don't know what the, I don't know, again, I don't know the ins and outs of how the big shady corporation runs the Squid Game, but the Squid Games, but maybe they did want only one person to be alive in the end, but I guess like in a more of a realistic capitalism sense, it's like we all have different skills and things that we're good at. When you get together with working class people, you can help each other, help the lives of everybody around you.
Right, exactly, yeah.
But they don't want that. They want you to compete for the minimal resources that are available.
Right.
they're being hoarded by billionaires.
Exactly. Well, and it's like, it is interesting that even when they're completely taken out of their normal lives without any of like they don't have to pay bills during Squid Game, they don't have to they're so ingrained and entrenched in what capitalist society tells you that you have to do, that they don't even like think, oh, we should all 400 and whatever of us should team up together to rebel against this, or to combine our skills in order to just keep everybody alive, or blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like the only time that they really do that is kind of when they get in the teams, and then even then it's with
Even
Deok-su's clearly he doesn't give a fuck about anybody in his team.
Yeah, you know, and definitely, and that's the hard thing is like there's gonna be people that are that way, but you know, like those aren't the people that you want on your team, right? Like you want people who are genuinely trying to help other people again in your little community, if you will.
Yeah. Okay, but let's Marble Game.
Up to Marble Game.
Yeah. So obviously the saddest fucking episode of the whole thing.
So sad.
Oh my god.
It's very I've never played the like that like betting marble game where you like switch the ones that you bet with or whatever.
I have not.
I don't know about that game, but again, kind of very emblematic of like you now have these alliances, and then they find out that one of them has to die, and you have to try to fuck over you know, a person that you probably were really close with. That one guy, the married couple, his wife, he like makes it and his wife doesn't, and then
my god,
he ends up hanging himself.
Yeah. Fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Oh my god, so sad.
So sad. And but you know, again, that's the kind of competition that capitalism breeds. Like
right. Well, one thing that definitely like brought up in my mind was like this gig economy thing, which I like. It also came to me because I was listening to an episode of True and On, and they were like talking about how the gig economy literally is like a clear, so open competition between each other. Like it's literally like if you don't snag this job before your buddy does, you're like you're not gonna make that money for the day.
Exactly. It's you're working for like just the money that you, I don't know, and again, like it's this idea of like, okay, like if you do like DoorDash or whatever, like you have to be dashing at the right time, you have to be in the right area, you have to, you know, accept all of the things you can or whatever.
Grab that order before somebody else does.
Exactly. And then, you know, do that, and then it's on that rating system, so it's like if you're not as fast as possible, like, and you don't, you know, do whatever, it's like you can get downrated. And they also do that so that you can't unionize because you're with all the employees are separate and like quote unquote like, I mean, I don't know if they're considered freelance, but like it's that idea of having all the employees separated so that you can't like have a union kind of a thing. Yeah, which to bring it to the Marble Games, like I was like reading, there was like several articles I saw that was like Marble Game ruined the whole idea of Squid Game being anti-capitalist, blah blah blah, and I'm like, no, like then you don't understand what's happening under capitalism, because they were like, you know, that's not how capitalism is. Where like it's this, you can team up with people, and it's like no, like I mean we said like at the end of the day, like the ultimate goal of capitalism is like fighting each other to the death, even if it is your best friend or your wife or whatever. Like it doesn't matter who you're fighting against, because it's just who can get ahead more. Yeah, and it's like a lot of times in capitalism, it won't come down to like you or your wife, obviously, or you or your best friend. But like, if it did, then, you know, again, if you were fighting for resources against your best friend or your family, like, what would you do, right?
Right. Well, and it's, I mean, I think that you should be looking at your coworkers in like a sense of like, this is my community and my comrade, like, and we should be treating each other instead of like, I gotta do better than Sally and take all of Sally's opportunities so I can get the promotion. You should be like, how do Sally and I get both paid more? Like,
exactly.
I think we don't consider like our coworkers, especially in corporate type businesses, we don't consider our coworkers like our community or our comrades, and we need to be doing that. I mean, exactly like with the nighttime Squid Game scene, like we need to, instead of striving for I need to get ahead in this business, fucking unionize,
Exactly.
come together as like a community and say, how do we collectively fight back against the one fucking person at the top? There's 300 of us and there's one of them. If we can make them do what we want. We just have to also survive, which is where things get fucked.
Well, and again, it's all in that programming of like, don't look at the person at the top. Look at, that other person that wants to take that promotion from you, or take that gig from you, or whatever it is,
I mean, it's just it's kind of psyop stuff. It's just they're convincing you who your enemy is your fucking comrade, is the person who's getting exploited just as much as you are. Yeah. Which, oh my gosh, I also after the oh wait, never mind, I'm skipping ahead. I had some different idea of what was happening. I take it back, we'll get there.
But yeah, that's kind of the marble game in a nutshell. Next up, R.I.P. Ali, by the way.
I know.
It's the saddest part of the whole thing.
Yeah, which that was just, that right there is like the representation of what your fucking boss will do to you. Your boss will tell you, oh, I'm your buddy, or I got your back, oh, I blah, 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 and then turn around and fucking switch your marbles out for a bag of rocks and screw you over. Oh my God. Clearly, I'm still mad about that. That made me so... And it's like... Also because Ali was this person who just implicitly trusted in the goodness of man and implicitly trusted that, like, these people wouldn't hurt him. And then, Which, like, I don't know, it was interesting, too, like, Ali coming from his job where, like, he ends up smashing his boss's hand because his boss, like, won't give him the money that he needs. Like, that he's still going into Squid Game, like, trusted these other players, but that was his comrades. He was trusting his comrades. It wasn't a boss this time.
Exactly, and it's rough. I feel like Ollie's just the purest out of all of them, like the purest intention.
And okay, also with that, like, Song-woo is like, they're both like, oh, don't let me die, and Song-woo's like, I have a family, and Ollie's like, I have a fucking family. We both got fucking families, bro.
Yeah,
like,
what do you mean?
We all have people we need to provide for here. It doesn't matter. Like,
even if you don't have a family, it's like you don't deserve to fucking get killed.
Exactly.
Like, it's just that kind of shit that's very sad.
Yeah. Another thing I want to mention before we go on to the next game is one thing that came up during the nighttime war crimes type thing.
War crimes. True.
Was, so they build like that barricade out of like the bunk beds, and they're taking different shifts staying up. Gi-hoon's group, they're like taking different shifts staying up, and maybe this is after, it doesn't matter anyway. And Song-woo is like watching all these Gi-hoon is like watching all these people fighting each other, and he has like a flashback.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I thought it was such an amazing plot point. I'm so glad they did this, that his PTSD was from a strike from his company that went really, really badly, and people ended up getting killed. Like, I was expecting it to be like war flashbacks, and then it turns into his flashback, and it's from a company strike. And I just thought that was so beautiful, because people are not seeing that what we're doing when we're striking, or when we're out on the street protesting, or when we're whatever, we're fighting for our fucking lives still. Like, it can be just as dangerous as it is a fucking battlefield still, like, because the cops, the elite, they don't give a fuck about lives, whether you're a soldier or not. Like, they will kill you, and you can die during a strike, and just like people did, and that was based on a real thing that happened in Korea. Yeah,
no, absolutely. I mean, again, I think I've talked about it before, but like I did talk about it on an episode, but that the West Virginia coal mine wars were whole ass strikes that workers were on, that and companies sent in armored fucking militias to break up the unions and stuff. It was insane.
Yeah, I mean, we saw, like, last summer during the protests, like, people getting run over by cops, like, people getting killed by cops. Even, I mean, people get killed by cops all the time, but right there, like, in a protest situation, like, I thought that was such an amazing part that the writers did, adding that, like, he has this PTSD, but it's from, like, a company strike. Oof, loved it.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was, yeah, no, that was really good. I liked it a lot. That brings us to game number 5, which was the glass stepping game.
Yes.
This one was interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting. And this is another one where that, like, equality that they so claim to have during these games went completely out the window.
Yeah, because it's, again, it just depended on which order you came in or whatever.
Well, and it was actually another one of those, like, you chose it yourself kind of thing. They make you believe, like, well, you deserve to be in this position because you chose vest number 1.
No, exactly. And, yeah, it was, again, it was one of those things where, like, you didn't, I don't think that some of the people obviously wanted other people to die, of course, in the game, but like, if you got stuck at the front, then it's like, well, you just didn't have the privilege of picking a later number or, guessing the right panel of glass to jump on.
Exactly, yeah.
And whatnot.
And then the people behind you are like, hurry the fuck up.
Exactly.
Because if we don't get across this bridge, even though we might die trying to get across this bridge, if we don't at least try to make it across this bridge, they're going to fucking kill us for not making it across the bridge.
Exactly. So it's like, you can't, yeah. Which, again, is similar to the idea of just capitalism being like, well, now you're in this system, you better go. And again, nobody stops to say, like, why are we doing this?
Right,
Like,
right.
Or nobody questions why this is happening. It's just like, just go forward.
Yep, exactly. Oof, Tayler, whoa. Just got chills.
Chills. Yeah, no, for sure. It's, that one was rough. That's when Deoksu, is that how you say it?
Yeah, Deoksu.
He dies.
Yeah, Minyo, let me make sure that's her actual name. Yeah, Minyo, like, literally fucking oh god, that scene, I was like, whoo. She like, locks her hands around him and he's like trying to pry it apart and she's just gripping her hands as hard as she can and then just
True.
That was kind of fucking awesome.
Kind of sick, actually.
Dope, actually.
True.
Yeah, and then that's also when Sung-woo murks the religious guy. He literally pushes him the fuck off the bridge, and that's really, I think that's when Gi-hoon really fully loses his trust in Sung-woo and is like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, like, what
Which
the fuck?
then after that is really when, like, everything crazy starts happening and you're like, oh, I knew Sung-woo was a piece of shit, but you're like, oh, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, because then he ends up killing
Sae-byeok. Yeah, so after the bridge game, sorry, I had a hiccup. It's like all the glass is exploding and Sae-byeok gets this huge piece of glass in her stomach and she hides it, which I thought was a mirroring of back at home, Gi-hoon's mom didn't tell him how bad, like, her diabetes was, like, how she was basically, like, because she's like, well, like, I don't have time to deal with this, like, I can't, I just have to keep working and I have to keep going because, like, whatever, it doesn't even matter that I'm sick, like, I have no choice, which is, like, exactly what Sae-byeok was doing. Like, she was like, I can't tell anybody that I'm suffering because what if they kill me, or what if, like, I can't show anybody I have weakness right now, I gotta just keep playing this, like, it doesn't matter that I got stabbed, I just have to keep playing this game.
Well, yeah, and I mean, that's so true of just regular capitalism and being like, you can't, I mean, we see it all the time. You can't have mental illness. You can't have, even, you can't even have, like, physical illness.
Yeah, you can't even have a cold because if you're out of work for a fucking day, you get punished. Like,
exactly.
Which is why we all are dying of COVID.
People can't afford to not work. And, so it's with anything, the capitalism, it's such a profit and utility based system that like if you are no longer useful for the ability for someone to make profit, then you're fucking out of luck, right? If you can't support yourself, you're out of luck.
Right.
And that's I mean, it's the whole problem.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But yeah, it's rough.
It's like that kind of that idea of how like it's more expensive to be poor than it is to whatever, because like you say you have like a cavity or something, it's you can't afford to go to the dentist in the first place and have that cavity looked at, and so then it turns into a worse problem, and eventually you, I don't know, your jaw is rotting out or whatever, and then you have to, otherwise you're gonna die, so you have to just go to the doctor and be in debt to pay to fix your jaw or whatever. But it's like, yeah, it's like we have all these smaller issues that arise, like, that we can't take care of, which is why, like, things don't last as long for us. Like cars, for instance, like, it's expensive to get your oil changed. It's expensive to get new tires. It's expensive to have the rattling noise in your car looked at. And so, like, you just drive it into the ground, and then it's like, guess I'll get another $2,000 car from KSL, so that, like, because I gotta have a car, but I can't, like, afford to take care of the car. Just like you can't afford to take care of yourself.
It's true. Yeah, no, things are definitely more expensive. Well, and, you know, and I think a big thing with that, too, is, like, medical bills. Like, you know, people who are wealthy, they have the time to, you know, eat the time and the resources to eat better food, to exercise, to, you know, go to more doctor's visits and things like that. And, so, you know, later on in life, it's cheaper. People who are working constantly and are in poverty can't do all of that.
Exactly.
So they end up having more medical bills, which then cost them more money. And it's insane.
It is insane. No, exactly.
It's awful. And so Game 5 is also when we meet the VIPs in the show.
Yes, that's right.
The rich people that want to watch other people get murdered.
Yep. Which, I mean, I think is it's like, it's so clear. Like, that is the most like bald faced or whatever the term is. Like, the writers of the show are literally being like, hello. Yeah. Like, how much fucking clearer do they have to be? And I think that is kind of also what makes Squid Game so good, is that it's like, it's pretty fucking obvious what this is about. Like, it's not really that subtle. There is subtle things in there, which were kind of my favorite parts, but yeah, that especially, I mean, it's like, that's what's happening.
Literally.
That's what's happening, is that there is a group of 5 fucking people who are paying to watch, or who are getting money from watching us suffer.
Well, and I think just the way that it's shot, where, like, they just so casually will be like, I lost $1 million on that guy that I bet on because his number was 69 or whatever. Like, just so casually being like, no, I just bet $1 million on it and lost it, but whatever. I'll do it again on the 96 because it's the other, you know, it's the other numbers. And, you know, just how, like, little they give a single fuck about any of these people's lives. They just want to watch them. And, you know, again, and I think that's how it is in capitalism. Like, you know, you see these billionaires doing these things, and I don't know, like Jeff Bezos and his weird, you know, going up into space and whatnot and all this stuff. It's like they just do these things, and you know, I guess they're not physically betting on people's survival, but like they, you know, it's just an amusement to them to watch the poor people struggle and whatnot.
Exactly. Yeah, and they don't give a fuck about you, just like your company doesn't. Like, at the end of the day, they don't fucking care about your life, which is just, I'm like, stop defending billionaires. Stop saying anybody's self-made. Stop saying Jeff Bezos pulled his bootstraps up and earned his fucking money. Like, no, because he's not gonna come kiss you, bro. Like, they don't.
Jeff Bezos will not make out with you, dude. I'm sorry.
Like, let Elon Musk fucking go. I don't care that he's nerdy. Like, they don't give a shit about you and your life. They will step on anybody that they need to get whatever they want, even if they are already at the absolute top of the fucking ladder. Guess what? They'll drag someone up to the top of the ladder and step on that person's head too, just so they can get to the next thing. Like, they don't fucking care how high up they are. That's why they will never, like, that's why Jeff Bezos will never look at his trillions of dollars and be like, oh, let me give at least one of the trillions to end world hunger forever. Like,
exactly.
They won't, because he doesn't fucking care. All he wants is just more and more and more for himself.
It's true. And I mean, and that's, you know, money and power, like, it breeds this, and maybe that's why people shouldn't have more power than others. But, you know. So that kind of brings us up to date. You know, we talked about Sebok getting killed.
So that's Songwoo fucking stabs poor sweet baby Sebok in the neck. And then that I also liked that was really the only time that Gi-hoon like kind of went after another player was when he saw like what Songwoo was willing to do, like which he kind of intentionally fucked Il-nam over during the marble game, but he also kind of didn't have a choice in that sense. But yeah, that was like when he really did for the first time, like actually went after another player.
True, but even then he didn't, like, he was trying to call the game off before Sungwoo could get killed, and Sungwoo again killed himself for it because he again couldn't handle the money not being won and both of them living.
Yeah, I know. Oh my god.
You know, and again, I think that it, you know, you could point back to capitalism and how, like, if you, like, it's almost under capitalism, it's almost worse to be poor and, like, quote unquote a failure. I don't think that poor people are failures. Yeah. But, you know, again, how it was viewed than it is to be dead. Like, yes. Like he would rather be dead than go back to his mother and say, I lost all of my money and I am poor and in debt.
Like at the beginning, he was gonna kill himself.
Exactly.
Which
he
ultimately did end up doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
well, and it's true, and it's like there is also this almost like, again, it's maybe that kind of inspiration porn thing. Like there's almost a heroic part to not suicide, but people dying in the name of capitalism, kind of, like, rather than just surviving as a poor person.
Exactly, yeah.
You have more like reverence for.
Well, and that happens so often, like, you know, people kill themselves because of financial issues all the time, like, and it's awful. You know, another thing I thought was interesting is after Gi-hoon, right? Gi-hoon. After he wins, he, you know, goes back home, finds out that his mother has passed away.
Oh my fucking god! Sorry, I know, but I was like, oh fuck, when he walks in the house and she's not right there, I was like, fuck.
You knew, yeah.
And it's just, and I mean, again, and that's it. It's like, it doesn't, like, you can go off and try and get a fucking degree and work so hard your whole life, but like while you're doing that, like, it's kind of, it's maybe a little bit indicative of like immigrant situations where these people will like come to this other country to like get a better life and whatever, but it's like, but you're still suffering, like you come home and your mom's still dead, like. Exactly,
like you won, you did it, you got the money, but you know, at what cost? Like,
right, exactly.
Your mom died, everybody else that you know, I mean, maybe not everybody knows, but like you saw all this suffering, all the other players, and it's like, I don't, honestly, like I would have a hard time using that money too, like if I was in his position, because he just doesn't use it for a long time until he gives it to Sungwoo's mom to take care of Sebok's brother. Yeah. But and I think that was just a very, again, just a powerful scene, being like, you did it, you got all the money, you beat everybody else, but
now what?
At the end of the day, your mom still died. Yeah. And you have nobody left. Like,
yeah, which, like, I think, and don't take my like immigrant comment wrong, I was not saying that like immigrants make wrong choices. I was just saying it's like this idea of where they'll come to America believing, which okay, let me finish my thought first. I think that that part with Gi-hoon and his mom is a better representation maybe of the people that do get a little bit closer to the top with capitalism, and then you turn around and it's like, well, how many people died in your wake? Exactly. How many people have you fucked over along the way? But I do also think that Squid Game is also a good representation of immigrants coming to America. You have this belief of, I'm going to be able to provide a better life and there's going to be more opportunity for my family and everything when I come to America, having no idea what like the rules of America are or what the consequences are if you don't do that. there's just, it's painted as like this golden opportunity, just like Squid Game. It's like they have this idea, they can see the money physically in that giant piggy bank of like, oh, well, the money's right there, like I have just as much chance as anybody else. But then you start playing the games and people are shot around you, or you don't realize the rules are you're gonna die if you don't succeed, like which is just the plight. And what's really so tragic about so many immigrant stories in America is that it's like, you think that you're going to be able to bring your family to this better situation, and then you're here and it's like you're still suffering.
Yeah, and I think even if you're not the one that like directly caused the, you know, the death and the suffering, you know, in your wake, as you put it, but it's, you know, it's that idea of like, I have this thing, you know, the money in this case, but like, why do I deserve this more than like someone else, right? Like, and you know, again, like I would have a hard time with that too, spending money that you made when there was so much suffering involved with it, you know, because why do you deserve that money more than say Bach, who got murdered, or you know, anybody else that was there, like
right.
And I guess I don't know, and I guess just puts problems into perspective more.
Totally.
Like, you probably, you know, I don't know, money it does it definitely can help with issues, like, not to say that, but like at the end of the day, it's like people, you know, money isn't everything, and it's better to have, I don't know, I guess not be insanely rich and just have enough to provide for yourself and have people around you that you love. I don't know.
Well, if all of the money in the world disappears, like, you know, if we do go fucking apocalyptic, like, who's going to be surviving? It's farmers. It's people that know how to create shelters. It's like, your money is not going to comfort you in your death. Which is why the elite are over and over and over again reinforcing this system in any way that they can, i.e. sacrificing millions of people's lives, because they know that the second the money disappears, they have nothing. Like, all that you're surviving on right now is what your money can get you, which is a lot in the system that we live in. But when that system disappears, like, you have nothing essentially, because you have no life skills, and you have no community, and you are gonna be fucking eaten because of the amount of people that you've screwed over. Like,
oh, for sure. I think that you put that really well. Yeah, no, and I agree. And you know, it's the people with the communities that will survive.
Yeah, like
if there was an apocalypse.
Exactly.
Which we're getting closer to every day,
I mean, yeah.
But any last thoughts? We're about at an hour and a half, so.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, whatever. All our episodes are long ones.
Oh,
Who fucking cares?
It's all right. I feel an hour and a half is a perfect amount of time.
I think so too. God, final thoughts. I mean, capitalism's evil. Yeah, if you are now at the end of this and you still have not watched Squid Game yet, watch Squid Game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I think from the articles I watched, it was like, it's set to be like the highest viewed Netflix show in like the shortest amount of time or something, like.
Yeah.
So it's
it's
really
just
big.
It's so maybe funny to me, like, people who have watched this entire show that has a pretty blatantly clear message. Like, it's pretty, they put it pretty obviously and pretty,
it's hard to miss.
Bloody. Yeah. The people are still missing the point. Like, there's still articles that are like, actually Squid Game's about communism.
Yeah.
And I'm like, baby, no.
Like, I'm sorry, it's really not.
The creator said. It literally came out and said it.
Literally said, yeah, I mean, it's everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, definitely watch it. Yeah, I saw an article that said LeBron James didn't like the ending. And the creator of it was like, yeah, LeBron James can make his own show if he wants to end it how he wants to.
Exactly. Fuck you, LeBron.
Yeah.
But and I mean, I guess, well, and we're kind of nearing the end of the episode here, but we can kind of make some comments about our feelings about the ending and the big reveal of Il-nam being the creator of the games and everything, and his whole thing of like, I joined the games because I was bored.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I had a lot of feelings about that, and I kind of like, I was kind of pissed off about the ending. I didn't love the reveal of Il-nam being like the guy behind it all, but again, maybe that's like, maybe serves me fucking right for like believing in, for getting attached to somebody who could ultimately fuck you over.
And I think that from a storytelling perspective, maybe it wasn't like, because it was kind of confusing.
Yeah.
But I think that from the point of like that, when he's like, why did you do it? And he was like, just wanted to have fun again. I think that is very telling of like, why do rich people do anything, right? Like, because nothing is unattainable to them in this current system. So it's like, it's just funny how you like have to he had to like pretend to be a poor person to like have fun,
well, and I mean that is a thing that happens. Like there's shows and shit about that. Fucking Survivor, fucking like
Undercover Boss.
Yes, Undercover Boss is actually a great example.
Well, and me and my family, we used to go and like volunteer at a soup kitchen like once a month or something, and like it was pretty simple. You just would like help serve food for people that were in line, and I forget, I think it was my mom was talking to one of the people who kind of organized it, and she had told me that like that the lady that had organized it saw people with like Rolex watches that would come through and things, just to like and again just to like see what it was like is what they said. And and again, I think it's like, it's interesting that like people that are more well off like will go and experience these things just to see what it's like, quote unquote. And it's like, again, I don't know that that in that scenario is for fun, but I think it does happen to,
right,
you're just so out of touch with reality and society when you're wealthy that like, again, I feel like to have like again, like a pure connection, you almost have to pretend to be poor, right? Because how much of like people wanting to be around you is because you have a lot of money, right?
Yeah. Damn, actually that kind of makes me change my mind a little bit
on the
about the ending. Yeah, because it's like, I mean, it was a huge slap in the face, but I guess that's the fucking point. Like,
yeah, kind of, yeah. But no, and I mean, I get where it's frustrating because it is confusing, and you don't really get like this big moment where you're like, oh, like, Jin Gi-hoon. I keep forgetting.
It's fine.
Gi-hoon, you don't get this big moment where Gi-hoon's like, fuck you, you're a piece of shit. It's like he just passes away peacefully, and Gi-hoon's like, why did you do this? And he's like, I just wanted to. But you don't get this like profound thing, which I feel like I also wanted, but at the end it's like, maybe that was the point. I don't know.
I mean, that's the reality of things, is we are not gonna have this, maybe, hopefully we get some liberating revolution. We get some like satiating revolution. But I mean, I think as far as things are going right now and where we're at right now, that's more where we are, is this kind of just like, oh yeah, that is what it is. Like, okay.
It's just how it is. Yeah, it's frustrating, but no, I think that's at least what I got from the ending there.
Totally.
Yeah, I don't know. And I the last, because again, even with like the last scene of the whole thing, you're like, oh, I really want him to go see his daughter, like you're kind of excited. You're like, yes, go see your daughter, get her a gift or whatever. But he wants to stay and fight the Squid Game, which, I think is, again, I feel like it's purposeful. It's not the satisfying ending that people wanted, but it's like, you know, how do you just move on with your life after going through something like that?
Exactly.
You know?
Well, and I think that's us, no? Like,
yeah.
I can't just go. I mean, this was when me and Taylor were at the amusement park the other day. We were like basically psychoanalyzing like our day at the amusement park, which I was like, it's hilarious that we can't even just like ride a roller coaster and be like, wee, that was fun. Like,
that
we
was
have to be
good.
like, why does the human condition like roller coasters?
It's
but
true.
like, yeah, I mean, it's like, I think that is like, once you hit a certain point in your radicalization, like, there's no going back. Like, you can't just enjoy things without thinking about like the suffering that got you there, or without like, you know, whatever, which isn't to say I don't enjoy my life. I definitely have a lot of fun sometimes, but like, no matter what I do, like, it's there, you know, once you realize, then you've realized.
Yeah, and you know, and that's the thing, is they wanted, you know, the Squid Game organizers wanted him, just like Capitalism wants us, to like just take your money and go live your life and be, you know, do whatever. And then
hold on. Fuck, I actually literally have chills right now. That's actually, fuck, Taylor, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, this actually is making me have like a lot of feelings about the ending. That's so true, because that is, he's doing exactly what they didn't want him to do. It's like, go give your daughter this amazing life, go spoil the fuck out of her, go spend all your money and just live a good life, and other people will continue to suffer. But he was the one that was like, no, like, I know I have a family at home. I know but also his daughter's taken care of. She's going to be okay. It sucks that she'll probably have some therapy she needs from like her dad's relationship with her dad. But it's like, he's seen this suffering and he's not going to do what they want him to do. Damn.
Exactly. Deep.
Deep.
So deep.
Taylor, you're like such a deep thinker.
Yeah, I'm pretty deep, y'all. Lol.
Oh,
but yeah, that's pretty much Squid Game in a nutshell.
Yeah. And I mean, the whole cop part, whatever. It's not really what we're talking about. I kind of was like, I don't really care about the glorification of this cop. Yeah,
and I just wish that it had like gone somewhere.
Yeah, like it didn't even end up anywhere.
Honestly, if I'm being real, that was my least favorite part of the whole thing. Yeah,
same. I was like, okay.
And you know, and I know
sexy,
but no, he was hot, but like, I don't know, like he that whole part, I was like, I know they have to have like tension and things, like it's a fictional show, you have to tell a story, like it's fine, but I don't know, I wish that there would have been some resolution with that whole storyline.
Yeah, I
mean, he finds out that his brother's the front man, but
and then it's like, okay,
and then he gets shot and falls, and I was like, at least set it up to where he like comes back on shore or something, and like set it up for like season 2, but like
also, it
was weird.
I think they only showed his they only showed that guy, like the face of his brother, like what his brother looked like once or twice. Yeah. And so then when the frontman guy took off his mask, I was like, am I supposed to
are you
be
like
shocked and know who this is?
Who's
like,
this? And then I guess.
And then he says the brother's name. I'm like, okay. But I think they really only showed the brother's face pre Squid Game like once or something. So I was like, who the fuck is
that?
Again,
I just feel like that whole just that whole storyline kind of just wasn't my favorite part.
Yeah, same.
If I had to give a critique for the show, I didn't like that part. It was like some of the scenes in the beginning with him when he was like infiltrating the games were intense and stuff.
Totally.
But you know, I kind of feel like, I don't know, it was interesting because like, I don't understand why you wouldn't just follow the vans, you know, to where they were going, and then go get a bunch of police to storm the place. Like, why I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about it too much, but it just, I was like, why go in there in this covert mission that's super dangerous and you'll probably won't make it out of, and you didn't apparently. Yeah. So, and like just having, you know, just so that like it can keep going on. Again, I guess to find your brother, but like, if he was there, couldn't you find him with a bunch of other, like the like National Guard or something? Like,
like have all of those, like get a group of cops to like call the number and be in the Squid Games, and then be like,
that's what you think. Yeah, I don't know.
Hands up, front man. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, obviously that wouldn't have been as good of a show, but
true. It just is a little
but
silly.
we're analyzing things as we love to do.
As we do. But yeah, I guess let's
Yeah.
move to the plugs
The
and
Pizzy Zizzlers.
the shout out games
Yeah.
and all the things.
Yeah, thanks
we
for
do.
listening to us rant about capitalism for an hour and 45, you guys.
True. Hopefully y'all agree. If you have any differing opinions, you can for sure
Yeah.
tweet at us at RemarksPod on Twitter. Like that seamless transition.
Yeah, that was really good, actually.
Or leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Or, I mean, you can leave a YouTube comment on my YouTube channel. It's called The Lefty Agenda if you want.
True, you absolutely can. Yeah, and you can comment on our Instagram, which is at Remarks Podcast, and I'm trying to get the comments to pull up, but oh, there they are. And our shout out game winner from last week, which was the QAnon and Scientology bonus episode, was my dear friend Casey, who commented Boat Cult, Cult Cruise 2, Electric Boogaloo, which I thought was really funny. Yeah, and then our boy Justin commented on the Spotify. Okay, this is like a weird thing, but Spotify like lets you add like questions or something.
Yeah, it's this new thing with Anchor, the podcasting service we use.
You might have heard it in our
you
ad.
might have heard it with our ad, yeah. But yeah, it's this weird thing where you can like leave a question and then people can answer it on Spotify.
Yeah.
The question from a few weeks ago was, "What's your favorite book?" And our friend and my lovely boyfriend Justin commented, "The Holy Bible."
Yeah, and then also our TikTok is the same, at Remarks Podcast. Let us know your thoughts on Squid Game. I would really like to know people's
I would
opinions.
love to know more, because like it's new enough that there hasn't been like a whole lot of like. There have definitely been some think pieces, but there hasn't been any like super deep analysis. You know, I feel like with Parasite, that's old enough that you can find like 16 million YouTube videos being like, this connects with this and this.
Exactly.
Whereas like I feel like Squid Game's new. So if you noticed anything that we missed, let us know.
Yeah, which there's definitely like Easter eggs just for the show itself, which
Exactly.
I mean, sure, talk about those, but also just like capitalism parallels or, you know, anything like that would be cool
Absolutely.
to hear from y'all.
The next shout out game question that I would like to know, because it's a little more lighthearted one. What is your favorite TV show?
Oh, yeah.
Since we're talking about Squid Game.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah, just favorite TV show. Comment it and let us know.
I would love
Maybe
to know.
we'll watch it. Maybe we have already watched it.
Yeah, true.
Phoebe watches more shows than I do.
I
though.
watch a lot of shows, you guys. I just love shows. Right now, also, no promo, JK unless, but no promo. I am right now watching Midnight Mass on Netflix. Oh, fuck. It is very good and a very good, just has some cult vibes. And anyway, watch it, y'all. It's a good one.
It's horror, right?
Yeah, it's
Love
very horror.
Love a good horror.
It's very good. I'm going to go finish it tonight, probably.
Damn, hell yeah. But yeah, anyway.
That's that.
That's that.
Thanks for listening.
Okay, love you. Bye.